Hey there, Tarot family. Welcome to another reading with me, the Empress of Fortune. We're going to get a little astrological today. I'm really excited about this reading. I am starting to dive deeper into astrology. I am learning so much, and I have this new astro deck that I'm just so excited to use with you guys. So today we're going to be finding out which planet or house of your birth chart, your natal chart, needs your attention. I love using tarot and astrology as tools for self-development and growth, and I myself have been diving deeply into my own natal chart lately to just kind of find out spaces where I can accelerate my own growth and excel in that growth as well. So I wanted to bring you guys the same kind of gift. So yeah, we've got 3 piles here today. This here is going to be pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. We've got Law of Attraction Tarot for pile 1. You guys probably are pretty familiar with that one. I do use it quite a bit on this channel. We've got the pocket version or the tin version of the Lightseers Tarot here for pile 2. And then we have the Ethereal Visions Tarot for pile 3. So yeah, each of these decks is very special. If you're interested in learning more about them, there will be links down below. Speaking of links, each pile will have 2 timestamps in the description box. There will be the timestamp for the identifiers, which is when we use the lip bowl to help people kind of confirm. And then there will be the timestamp for the actual reading. So if you want to skip over the identifiers and go straight to the reading, there will be timestamp for that as well. Just make sure you click the one that says reading on it. Or if you want to see the identifiers, click the one that says identifiers on it. Either way, I will see you guys in just a second for your reading. If you need to take a moment to pause the video, now is a good time to do that so you can meditate on which of these piles is best for you, is most accurate for you. You may also have messages in more than one pile since you may have different parts of your birth chart that need attention at this time. Alrighty, I'll see you guys soon. Hey there, pile 1. Welcome. If you chose the Law of Attraction Tarot in the first pile, we're going to get your identifiers out first. And if you want to skip over this part, there is another timestamp down below that says pile 1 reading. You can go ahead and click that and it will take you straight to the part with the cards. But for those of you who want some additional confirmation that this is in fact your pile, let's go ahead and get into it. Spirit, please help me to connect with pile 1, their guides, angels, benevolent ancestors, and higher selves. We want to find out which planet or house of their natal chart, or just I guess of the universe, they need to pay attention to at this time, that they need to work with right now. So who's in pile 1? Who are my pile 1 people? Who's in pile 1, Spirit? While I'm doing this, this is a great time for you to subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. This is also a good time for you to hit the thumbs up to like this video. It helps the video out. It helps out my channel, but it also helps other people find the video in case they need to hear this message. So be a dear and hit that thumbs up button. Spirit, is there anybody else in pile 1? Who else is in pile 1? Who else are my pile 1 people? Who else is in pile 1? Anybody else in pile 1? All right, let's go ahead and put that back. And let's get into it. I'll keep these cards right here. All right, let's see who we have. We have here Drew Barrymore by SZA. So the way that these work is that if any of these things have shown up in your life recently, or if they're significant to you somehow, or you're like familiar with them, really familiar with them, then that is an indication that this pile is for you. So this is a song, but it also could refer to the actual actress Drew Barrymore. So like, for example, this could be your favorite song. Maybe you just heard this song in passing even over the past couple of days. So any of these things, like if they just showed up in your life over the past couple of days, that's an indication as well. Or maybe you really love Drew Barrymore. She might be your favorite actress. Or maybe you randomly know a lot of like Drew Barrymore trivia. Maybe she's not your favorite actress, but you just know a lot about her. Or maybe you were at like the Firestone the other day getting your car fixed or getting some new tires, and they were playing the Drew Barrymore TV show, her her talk show on the TV, and that just happened a couple days ago. Those are the kinds of things that I'm talking about here. So hopefully you catch my drift. I'm also thinking now about that movie that she did, Riding in Cars with Boys. Since I mentioned the Firestone and the car thing, that might be significant to somebody. What About Your Friends by TLC? That is another song. Interesting that both of these artists have like 3-letter names: SZA, SZA, and TLC. I think that's funny and interesting. We've got here Tupac, Keep Your Head Up. Okay. Interesting. The Players Club. That's a movie. Sex in the City. That's an iconic TV show. So something that was like kind of nagging me, and I want to go back to it, is I kept wanting to say like the star of the movie, The Players Club. That's Lisa Ray McCoy. So I don't know if that has any significance to you guys. But her character's name was Diana or Diamond. She was known as both. We have here George Clooney, actor. I keep thinking about that movie that he did in Hawaii, but I don't remember what it's called. Kimberly, 90 Day Fiancé. If you know, you know. 90 Day Fiancé Hive, Stand Up. She and her son sometimes appear on the Pillow Talk as well. BoJack Horseman. That could refer to the actual TV show or the character himself, BoJack. Animated show on Netflix. The Coldest Winter Ever, Sister Souljah. We've got here Breaking Free, Zac Efron and Vanessa Hudgens from High School Musical. Soaring, flying, there's not a star in heaven that we can't reach. If we're trying, oh, we're breaking free, ooh, breaking free. All right, Chemical Hearts, the movie. It could be on Netflix. It might also not be on Netflix. Stars Lily Reinhart or Reinhold. I swear, I've looked up this girl's name so many times and I just never remember which one it is. But she's that girl from Riverdale. And then Ballet Slippers. That also could be like the OPI nail color ballet slippers. It's like a very pale pink. Or it might be actual ballet slippers, like the shoes that people wear to ballet. I guess it could be ballet flats, like just the regular shoes that people wear not to ballet, like just out in regular life. But Give Me Something Real by Ashford and Simpson. That just made me think of Ashley Simpson. I don't know. Number 1. So maybe somebody here is like a champion. Like, we're number 1. We're number 1. That also could represent January, which would be Capricorn and Aquarius energy. It could represent like the new year. Now I'm thinking about that song called The New Year by Death Cab for Cutie. You could be an only child. You might live on First Street. You could live in like apartment number 1 or the first building on your block. You might be seeing 1111 or 111 around, things like that. Airbnb. All right, we got water signs here, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. That could be your sun, moon, rising, or Venus, possibly North Node. Annoying. So maybe somebody called you annoying. Maybe you've been getting like easily annoyed recently at stuff. The Majesties by Tiffany Sao. That's a book. Breaking Free keeps like coming back into my head, so that song is like really strong right now. Girlfriends. That's a TV show starring Tracy Ellis Ross. You know what? I talked earlier, I said Ashley Simpson. She's actually Ashley Simpson Ross now. She married one of Diana Ross's sons. And so she and Tracy Ellis Ross are sisters-in-law, interestingly enough. Mahershala Ali, another actor, very famous, very handsome. All right, let's see. E equals MC squared. And speaking of squared, you might actually be able to see it twice now because I actually have that tattooed right here on my arm. Yee. Okay, so that's funny. Carrie. That's supposed to be the movie, or I guess the book by Stephen King, but that could also just be somebody's name. 10 Things I Hate About You. Movie starring Julia Stiles and Heath Ledger. Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Some other people. Gabrielle Union's in there too. Baby Mother. I don't remember the girl's name who played Bianca, but she's coming to mind right now. Anthony Kiedis, Remy Wolf. Anthony Kiedis is the lead singer of the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Remy Wolf is a solo artist. That girl who played Bianca, her name was Larissa Olenek. I don't know if that's significant to anybody, but I guess it probably is since I said it. It could be at least for one person. Dupe, makeup, or trickster. So that could mean like somebody tried to trick you, somebody tried to dupe you. It also could be like how some people will try and find cheaper versions of like really expensive makeup, and like they have the similar formula. They're called dupes. We have here Congratulations, Smack and Katie by Reggie and the Full Effect. That's a song. I'm also not thinking about that other song they did called Get Well Soon. And then we have Endings, Beginnings, a movie. That movie stars Shailene Woodley, where she plays this woman who like gets involved with these two different guys who are best friends, and it's like interesting competition kind of starts up. Honey Dijon, so that could be like honey mustard. There's also a DJ who goes by Honey Dijon. Cheers, Drink to That by Rihanna. That's a song. Hide your kids, hide your wife. That was a famous quote from Antoine Dodson. They're coming through your windows. If you know, you know. If you don't know, you can YouTube it. Susan Sontag. Photographer, reporter, theorist. The number 8. So 18, since we have 1 and 8, or 81 could be relevant here. That also could be the month of August. This also makes me think a lot about the Strength card. The one card would be the Magician in Tarot, but 8 August would be Leo and Virgo energy. You might be seeing 888 or 8888. You could also have 8 people in your family. You could live on 8th Street, 8th Avenue, apartment number 8, something like that. 8 could be your favorite number. Energy by Drake. I got enemies, got a lot of enemies, got a lot of people trying to drain me of my energy, trying to take away from my nigga. Legally Blonde. Iconic movie starring Reese Witherspoon as Elle Woods. Los Angeles. I didn't want to say it earlier, but there was a lot of LA energy coming through. We've got Girlfriends is here. The Majesties, part of it takes place in LA. Anthony Kiedis and Remy Wolf, they both rep LA. So I was feeling it. BoJack Horseman takes place in like a fictionalized version of LA as well. All right, let's see. 12/12. So that is a time. It could also be a date, December 12th. that may have some significance to you. You might be seeing that around as like an angel number. Driving at night, maybe that's what you're into. Maybe you do that a lot. Maybe you have like a lot of really special memories driving at night or something like that. We've got I Don't Want to Be by Gavin DeGraw. That is a song. It was also the theme song for One Tree Hill, the TV show. Bootsy Collins, iconic funk musician. Mugler, designer. Self-date. Like I said, you might be solo dolo quite a lot of the time. You might like to take yourself out, that kind of thing. Maybe you recently went out by yourself on a little date. School of Rock. That is a movie starring Jack Black. They also have like places called the School of Rock where they actually teach you how to play music and stuff like that. Lisbon, Portugal. Maybe you recently went there. Maybe you're from there. Maybe you studied abroad there or something. The Climb by Miley Cyrus. It's the climb. We've got here Dorito Loco Tacos from Taco Bell. It's been so long since I've had one of those. We've got here at 38. That might also pass for 83, but right now I got 38, so if that number means something to you. We've also got $100. So now I'm thinking about 138. Maybe that's something for somebody. But $100. Maybe you spent $138 or just $100 on Dorito Loco Tacos. Usman, I wasn't going to say it, but he and Kimberly, they were a couple. They were a 90-day fiancé couple, so I find it interesting that they came out together. It would be even more interesting if a third person comes out, because it's not like a love triangle, but Usman was involved with two different ladies on that show. So we got here Jessica Alba, Fantastic Four. Also maybe just somebody named Jessica. Doesn't have to be Jessica Alba. Just maybe somebody named Jessica. What is this? Yin Yang Twins. All right, stand up and get crunk. Yin Yang Twins, they are a hip-hop duo from Atlanta. ATL Shawty. We do have a little bit of Atlanta energy here with TLC. Yin Yang Twins, obviously. I guess that's kind of it. All right. The Format. That's a band. Alrighty. We have here Maya Angelou, prolific writer, poet, and also actress. Pirates. Interesting. Don't know what that's about, but, you know, it's in there. Maybe you watched something with pirates. Maybe you are a pirate. Lemonade by Gucci Mane. More Atlanta energy as well. I got Lemonade Unlimited. Valentine's Day. Maybe that's like your favorite holiday. Maybe it just passed. Maybe you just watched that movie called Valentine's Day, or maybe they celebrated Valentine's Day like in something that you watched recently. Stuffed grape leaves. That's a food. Sometimes they're called dolmas. Pink Lemonade. Okay, Lemonade is coming through real strong, and that just made me think of Lemonade by Beyonce. But we have Lemonade by Gucci Mane, and we have Pink Lemonade. Interessante. King Curtis, Fat Kid Loves Bacon. That's like a YouTube clip from Wife Swap. Uninvited by Mallrat. That's a song. Smiles are always toothless, but Sookie Stackhouse. She's the main character of True Blood, the Southern Vampire Mystery Novels by Charlaine Harris. True Blood is an HBO show. We have here Fire Signs. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, likely Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, or North Node. We have Avenged Sevenfold. That's a band. I don't really know that much about them, but for some reason, they're in the bowl. Randall Park, actor, very handsome actor. You may know him from that TV show Fresh Off the Boat or the movie called Always Be My Maybe. We've got here 12-3-30. That is like a treadmill workout that was viral on TikTok. The Saddle Club, that is a TV show for like tween girls, I guess I would say, about girls who ride horses. It's for horse girls. So yeah, horses are coming through because BoJack Horseman, he's a horseman. And then we have a show for horse girls. Beauty in the Dark by the Isley Brothers and Mos Def. That's a song. Groove with You. Hand in My Pocket by Alanis Morissette. One hand in my pocket. Okay, Waterbenders from Avatar The Last Airbender. I'm like feeling the urge to speed this up. Gospel music. Nana by Trey Songz. I almost feel like it's like I'm getting played off the stage. You know how like at the Oscars when they'll start playing music when somebody's been talking too long? Toni Morrison, author. Countess Luann de Lesseps from Real Housewives of New York. Signs by Snoop Dogg, Justin Timberlake, and Charlie Wilson. We've got here When You're Good to Mama by Queen Latifah from Chicago, the musical. This is Aaron Taylor Johnson, another actor. Put that right there. Sorry if you guys can't hear the good garbage truck outside. Hyphy by Federation, that's a song. A little Bay Area energy, along with Tupac. Seth Rogen, another actor. We got quite a few actors in here. Boys in the Hood, more LA energy. That's a movie by John Singleton. Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy, Big and Rich. That's a country song. Heart of Dixie. That is a TV show starring Rachel Bilson. She's a New York City doctor who moves to Alabama. I also have the initials RB on here, which stands for Rachel Bilson, but those could be somebody's initials who is important to you, or those could be your initials. We have spinach on here. Some of you guys might be on like a fitness journey. So we got the treadmill workout, we got spinach, we got the stuffed grape leaves. Aang from Avatar The Last Airbender. So that's our second mention of Avatar. Romance novel. Okay. Maybe you guys are really into those. Maybe you just finished reading one. Maybe those are like your favorite genre. Maybe you write them. Misa Misa from Death Note. If you know, you know. Wake Up in the Sky by Gucci Mane, Bruno Mars, and Kodak Black. So that's our second mention of Gucci Mane here. We have Lemonade and we have Wake Up in the Sky. So maybe you're a fan, or maybe you've been listening to him lately. New Leaf. Maybe you literally like somebody gave you a leaf. Like, you know how like pets sometimes like bring you treats and stuff, or like they think that they're treats, they're presents or whatever. Confirmation right there. So maybe your pet just like brought you a new leaf. Maybe you said you're turning over a new leaf. Maybe you heard somebody say that recently. Neck tattoo. Maybe you have a neck tattoo. That reminds me of, I think it was like Aziz Ansari, one of his stand-ups. He was like, if he's got a neck tattoo, I'm gonna lick it. That was from when he was imitating MTV's Next. Speaking of MTV, we now have here ATV, which they're not really related other than that they both have TV in them. But ATVs, those are like those four-wheelers that people go riding on through like the jungle or the desert or the beach or whatever, the country. Sewing kit. So you might be really into sewing, or maybe you recently had to mend something, or maybe you recently bought a sewing kit. or somebody gave you one. Gloria Delgado Pritchett. She's a character on Modern Family, played by Sofia Vergara. We've only got 3 left, you guys. Let's see. What does this one say? S'mores. Maybe you made s'mores, or maybe that's like your favorite flavor of something. I know that they have s'mores Pop-Tarts. Maybe you're really into those. Justin Timberlake, musician and actor. That's actually our second mention of him too. Justin Timberlake here by himself, and then Signs by Snoop Dogg, Justin Timberlake, and Charlie Wilson. So he's on here twice as well. JT. Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist. That is a movie starring Kat Dennings and Michael Cera. It's also a book. Now that I'm thinking about it, actually also Justin Timberlake, he's married to Jessica Biel. We did get Jessica here. I know it says Jessica Alba, but Jessica's in parentheses. I said it could just be anybody named Jessica. So Justin and Jessica together also are coming through. There's also some interesting energy here that might have to do with like monograms, because we've got a few different instances of like 3 initials coming up. So we've got SZA, like I mentioned before, we've got TLC. Aaron Taylor Johnson is often called by his initials, ATJ. Gloria Delgado Pritchett, GDP, right there as well. Yin Yang Twins, YYT. Yeah, something like that. So like monograms might be coming up, or initials could be coming up as well. And then we also have, if you are a fan of Avatar: The Last Airbender, that episode where Katara steals the waterbending scroll is coming through, because we've got pirates, we've got waterbenders, and we've got Aang here as well from Avatar: The Last Airbender. And then, last but not least, we've got songs named after people. So Drew Barrymore by SZA, that one's pretty obvious. That song is named after Drew Barrymore, but Remy Wolf made a song and named it after Anthony Kiedis. So that also is coming through as well. And then we have like When You're Good to Mama from Chicago. So Mama is not a specific person, but it is, you know, a person. So that's a song that's kind of named after a person as well too. All right, I'm going to go write these down in my tarot journal. If you're interested, I did make you guys a tarot journal as well. The link is in the description box down below if you feel like checking it out. It could be a good tool for you if you like to read tarot for yourself, or if you like to watch videos. It's always a good idea to write down your insights. So yeah, go check that out. But yeah, let me go write these in my tarot journal, and I will see y'all at the reading. Hey there, Pile 1. Welcome to your reading. I'm excited for this topic today, getting into a little bit of astrology. So we're actually going to bring the astro deck out first and foremost. So let's put this over to the side. And we want to know which planet or house needs your attention. Spirit, my Pile 1 people. My Pile 1 people, which planet or house needs their attention at this time in their life that they're watching this video? Let's see. And we got the first house. Ooh, interesting. So the first house represents the self. This says here physical body, outlook, self-image, life, philosophy, consciousness, opinions, awakening, self-awareness, arrival, expression, gateway, and entry point. So you definitely will want to go take a look at your first house on your natal chart. That's going to give you some information. Pay attention to the sign that it's in. If there are any planets that are in there, whatever's going on in your first house, you definitely want to take a look at. And even if there's nothing, let's say that your first house is empty, it will still have a zodiac sign attached to it. So definitely take a look at that. There are plenty of YouTubers, astrologers, and other people out there, whether they're on Twitter or on Instagram or whatever, who have tons of great explanations about the first house and how that information can help you. So you are looking at yourself, facing yourself. Let's go ahead and see what we've got here from this other deck. We're going to be using some inspiration cards to give us a clue as to what else specifically you need to pay attention to about your first house. Spirit, what is the message here for pile 1? All right, we got focusing is key. I can handle setbacks and use them to grow. Focusing helps me to achieve everything I desire. So group 1's also interesting that group 1 got first house. So 1 did come out actually. The number 1 came out in our identifiers. I don't know if I can find it. They're all like in a little jumble over here, but yeah, I don't want to waste a ton of time looking for that. So you'll just have to trust me on that one. But regardless, you might be seeing 111 around. That might be another confirmation for some of you guys. We do have also the number 27 here. So January 27th, that might be significant to some people. But regardless, the idea of setbacks is coming through. And this may have to do with some damaged self-esteem. This may have to do with some damage to your outlook on life or your outlook on yourself as a result of some setbacks. When people don't have a good self-image, a setback can really, really hurt. It can really hurt. And another song came out in our identifiers. It's called What About Your Friends by TLC, but I'm not thinking about that particular song by TLC. I'm thinking about a different song called Damaged by TLC. They also have a song called Unpretty. And both of those have to do with this idea of not feeling good enough for somebody else, not feeling good enough for yourself, having kind of like low self-esteem is coming through. So you may identify with that. If that's not striking a chord with you, then, definitely I would say stick around because we are just touching the very, very tip of the iceberg here. But if you've had a setback recently, I would definitely say that this pile is for you. Okay, so yeah, let's go through here. And this card wants a little bit more attention. So this reading is also, it's all about attention. We're asking, which house or planet needs your attention. You need to place your attention on yourself. You might be having setbacks in your life because you're paying too much attention to other people, to other things. But really, you need to pay attention to yourself because that's going to be what's going to propel you forward. I heard this analogy recently where it was like a setback can be like a slingshot. It pulls you backwards so that when time is right, you can actually fling forwards, propel yourself forwards even farther than you would have gone if you were just moving forward at a steady pace. So sometimes you have to see your setback as a setup for a comeback. And I think that that's actually the name of like a self-help book or something like that. So you might want to go look that up too. But yeah, I can handle setbacks and use them to grow. This is an opportunity for growth. Whatever it is that has set you back in whatever part of your life, especially if it does have to do with your self-concept, the way you see yourself, your self-esteem, how you feel about yourself, your body, your outlook on life, you have to use that to grow. We've got here a welcome mat. And it's like doors are opening, new doors are opening that are going to lead you not only to a new level of understanding and a new level of focus, but also a new way of seeing yourself and of seeing the world around you. All right, we're going to get this Prism Oracle out. I'm realizing now that I did things in like a little bit of a different order, a little bit of a different order than I originally had planned to. I was going to bring this card out last actually, but everything happens for a reason. I also like that these two cards have like similar colorings on them. They both have like that pink that's really sticking out right now. All right, Spirit, pile 1. What is it in their first house? Like what's going on in their first house that they need to pay attention to? What's the message that we have here for pile 1 today? So we got a couple of cards that are like wanting to flip over, but not quite. So I'm going to just go ahead and cut the deck. Let's do it like this. That song Cut the Cake by Average White Band is coming through. That's another 3-letter initials, like 3-letter acronym. I was talking about that in the Identifiers. If you didn't watch those, we had quite a few scenarios or quite a few things come out that had like a 3-letter acronym. I guess I don't really know what I would call them. Like SZA came out, that's SZA. TLC came out, Aaron Taylor Johnson came out. He's often called ATJ. A lot of things, but yeah, that's, I don't know why. We've got here anxiety. So some of you guys may be suffering from anxiety about yourself, anxiety about the setback, anxiety about the world around you, anxiety about your future path. Maybe anxiety could be causing issues with your food or your digestion as well, or causing issues in the physical body. Some of you guys may even have like severe anxiety that leads like panic attacks or whatever, and you may benefit from meditating. It's interesting that we have this imagery here because it's like when you meditate, it's like it almost allows you to see into this different realm within yourself, and it's like opening doors, opening portals is coming through as well, but it's like portals of the mind. All right, let's see. I do feel like there's at least one more card that wants to come out of here. I don't know what that's about. Spirit, there we go. Flow. Whoa. This is like, this imagery is crazy. This imagery is so crazy. All right, I'm going to bring these up close so you guys can see what I'm seeing. Okay, so on the anxiety card, you see how it's almost like all these like little like macaronis or these little squiggly lines are like going everywhere. I know that this card is like very light, so hopefully it's not too hard for you guys to see. But it's like all these little squiggly lines are going everywhere. They're all over the place. And then here in the flow card, it's like they're organized. It's like they've been taken from hectic to a space of true organization, and they're all connected now. So meditation definitely could be something that really helps you as you move forward in order to help like organize your thoughts and all the things that give you anxiety. I'm gonna move these over here so that we don't have that glare. But yes, ooh, I just like got this like sense of calm looking at the flow card. Water may also be really helpful to you. We did get water signs and we got water benders in our identifiers as well. So water could be really, really healing for you, whether that is just like a salt bath, a regular bath, maybe going to the pool, going by the beach, just experiencing the flow. And also maybe if you're an artist, like trying to get into the flow as well, getting into the flow possibly even through meditation could be helpful too. All right, let's go ahead and get the tarot out to see what additional messages we have here. All right, Spirit, pile 1. They need to pay attention to their first house. What message do we have for them? We've got the 6 of Pentacles here in the reverse. Interesting. What else? The 8 of Cups. There's something you need to walk away from. Some of you guys, this could be an actual addiction. For others of you, this could be a scenario where maybe it kind of feels like you're giving too much to someone, or you've been taking too much from someone. We've got here the 2 of Swords. This is coming to a state of mind where you have made an agreement, and that agreement could be with yourself. There's so much here about the mental state and finding mental stability, walking away from something that is not serving you, walking away from a life circumstance that is not serving you, walking away from a resource that is not serving you, something that makes you, I think, kind of feel bad about yourself or feel emotionally down, emotionally unstable. We have here the Hierophant in reverse, the Emperor in reverse, the 9 of Swords in reverse. there's something in your life where you do not feel like you have control, but you feel like you should have control. And because there are some negative mental patterns going on here with this anxiety, it's causing you distress. There also could be a really overbearing male figure in your life. This could be a father. It could be maybe like a boss, a husband, some male or authority figure in your life who is like really strict. Or maybe you grew up with an authority figure like this, and the patterns of thinking that they instilled in you are still affecting you to this day. And it's causing you anxiety. And it's like you cannot get this mode of thinking out of your brain no matter how hard you try. This person could have been like belittling you. They could have really preyed on your insecurities, or they might have like made you feel insecure about certain things that you didn't feel insecure about before. For example, and I know obviously not everybody watching this channel is a woman or identifies as a female person, but let's say that like when you were a teenager, your dad would make negative comments about the way that you were dressed, or about your body, or about like your monthly cycle or stuff like that, right? Like didn't want to ever see or acknowledge that you had a monthly cycle, and would be like, you have to go and hide any evidence of your period in a trash can on the other side of the house or whatever, that's just an example. And it like made the girl in this example feel really bad about herself and feel like something was wrong with her or whatever, right? Or if he criticized the way that she dressed, or, would like call negative names based upon saying things like, you look like a prostitute or whatever, right? Those kinds of things, like they really can stick with a person and can really, really bring their self-image down. So, people should be able to dress how they want to dress. They should be able to express themselves in the way that they want to express themselves. But I kind of feel like the energy that I'm getting here is that self-expression, especially when it comes to self-image, and especially when it comes to the body, have been really negatively impacted here. And I think that there are kind of like a lot of swirling thoughts and opinions, especially that come from like a really patriarchal mindset, that are disrupting your inner flow and also your mental flow. Okay, so meditation definitely can help with that, but also clearing out some of those like old negative mindsets and walking away from that emotional space, I think will be very helpful. We've got here the Hanged Man in reverse, and we've got the Two of Wands as well. I find it interesting that we've got these two cards on top of each other, the Two of Swords and the Two of Wands here. This is like making a decision to consciously go in a new direction. This is making a decision to walk in a new direction in life. I'm moving these over now so that we can have a little symmetry. Yeah. It's interesting. It's like the idea of rearranging things is coming through right now. Rearranging things. And I know that the first house doesn't really have to do with like your environment or your surroundings. But rearranging like your furniture might be helpful for some of you guys too. All right, so since I'm still learning about astrology, I'm actually going to read to you guys from the book on what this first house says. It says the sign is Aries, and we did get the Emperor here, so Aries energy is coming out pretty strongly. I'll also mention some other signs. We've got Taurus here with the Hierophant as well, and we have Pisces here with the Hanged Man. So springtime is actually coming through. That would be like April, May, and March. Springtime is coming through pretty strongly. The planets associated with the first house could be the ascendant and the Mars. That does not mean that when you look at your chart, you'll see those in there. It just means that those planets have first house energy. The element associated with the first house is fire. And we've also got tarot cards that could be associated with the first house. And these could also be helpful meditation tools if you do choose to meditate. Sometimes meditating with tarot cards can be very helpful. Those would be any of the aces of any suit, the 2, the 3, and the 4 of wands. So we do actually have the 2 of wands here. So that came out. The first house is our dressing room for life and the place where our soul lives. It's interesting that it says our dressing room for life. I've never read this before. This is my first time reading this book, but I think it's interesting that it says that because I did talk about like people criticizing possibly the way that you dress or something like that. I also think it's interesting considering that this woman on this card, you can't see anything, but she is meditating in her birthday suit. So yeah, interesting. Clothing is coming up here pretty strongly. The first house is our dressing room for life and the place where our soul lives. Our body temple and our spirit castle in the clouds, decked out in the colors of our ascendant sign. Ruler of our personality, the first house is the realm of consciousness itself. The jar containing the firefly of our awareness. It is the manner with which we project ourselves and the eyes through which we see. Our cosmic, quote, profile page. The first house governs our approach to new beginnings and shows the role we are here to play in the movie of our life. The place we get to test our freshest material, the first house is also the platform for our most authentic self-expression. The degree to which we feel empowered in this, a measure of our overall vitality. Planets positioned here in our charts show the parts of us that are learning how to assert themselves, and the coaches who help us become more and more us. A celestial body transiting the first becomes a guest star with the clout to influence our whole worldview. When you see the first house card, you're being asked to consider if your actions in the world and the person you purport to be are in alignment with your soul purpose. Perhaps there's a part of yourself you're less confident about sharing, or an opinion or belief that you think will make you unpopular. I think that's interesting that that came up too, because I talked about people's opinions and beliefs about you, especially here with this Hierophant card. That's coming through very strongly as well. The first house card has shown up to remind you how freeing it actually is to be unapologetically you. Safe in the understanding that anybody who doesn't get you doesn't have to. You can't be everybody's favorite flavor. And speaking the unfiltered version of your truth will only magnetize more of what truly lights you up into your path. There is a journal prompt here, so if you feel inspired to do that, I'll read it for you. Write down 10 words to describe yourself and 10 words for how people see you. So you've got like 2 columns here. One column is going to be how you would describe yourself, and the other column is how other people see you, how you think they see you. What steps can you take to align the 2 lists? And so you would want to be able to change that second list of how people see you to reflect the first list of how you describe yourself, right? Interesting. So yeah, I really want to think about this main character energy. And I think Spirit wants you to think about that as well too, because I feel like, especially with these cards here, there's been this force in your life represented here by the Hierophant, the Emperor, and this Nine of Swords here in reverse. There's been this force in your life that's been holding you back, that's been causing you to kind of like put your life on hold. And that's not to say that certain other aspects of your life are not moving forward, but there is a level of inauthenticity that you probably feel, especially in terms of who you really are and how other people see you. And when you have your main character energy, you get to call the shots in your life. First of all, you stop caring about what other people think, whether that's about how you dress or how your body looks or how you express yourself or whatever. But there's also this idea of like throwing the monkey that's on your back, throwing it off, walking away, and moving forward with your own clarity and your own sense of peace. Because it does seem like you've, in some ways, and in some profound way, even if it's like not explicit, there's something about your life that's making you feel small, or there's somebody in your life who has made you feel small. And I think that even if that person is no longer with you right now or doesn't have as much influence on your life right now, the way that they spoke to you or the way that they thought about you still has a very heavy, heavy influence on your self-image and the way that you see the world, the way you see yourself, how you show up in the world. And it's keeping you from your main character energy. And Spirit wants you to leave that behind. We've got 2 cards here talking about leaving those things behind. That's the 8 of Cups and this Hanged Man here in reverse. That's like the time for waiting is over. The time for inaction is over. It's time for you to move on from this. And to, in some cases, like take a risk. Take a risk and go down the path that you really want to go down. The 2 of Wands, it's like you've reached a crossroads. And you can either keep going the way that you've been going, where you don't feel like your true self, you don't feel like you stick out in the crowd, you don't feel like anybody sees you for the special person that you are. Maybe you don't even see yourself for the special person that you are. And life is sad, it's boring, it's a joke, it's whatever it is, blah, 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 all these things. Or all these things that you've been led to believe, rather, I guess I should say. Or you could choose to go the other way. It's like this fork in the road. You could choose to go the other path where you are more true to yourself. And who knows what that path holds. It might be scary and is definitely going to be unknown, but that's like the door to your real life, your real authentic life. And the first path, the one that I was talking about before, that one's predictable. You've lived on that path for so long, I think you know exactly what it would look like in like 20 years. Whereas the other path, it's unpredictable because you've never shown up authentically in the world as yourself before. If you have, you haven't in a long time. And so returning to that space and that path is going to bring so much more excitement into your life, but it's also going to bring a lot of opportunities, and it can bring you just to this space where you feel like your mind is quieter and you're in this flow. You're in a flow state. I love that. It's like the static is gone and you can see clearly. I can see clearly now, the rain has gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. I can see clearly now, the rain has gone. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. Yes. Oh, I love it. It's like the energy completely just shifted in this reading, and like, oh, it feels so good. It feels like we went from that anxiety into that flow state, and like, oh, I just want you to feel that flow. I want you to feel it the way that I feel it right now. It feels so good. And I know that you, once you make this choice to find that authenticity and that mental clarity, and you choose to walk through that path and walk through that door, it's just going to keep opening more doors for you. And it's going to be amazing. This makes me think about the Yellow Brick Road and the Wizard of Oz. Can you guys see that? I know that there's like these little fake clouds on here or whatever, but it's like the Emerald City looks like it's off in the background. Yeah, you're meant to like go on this adventure to find out or to show the world who you really are. And don't let the setback, whatever the setback was, it doesn't have to have been another person or, you know, whatever the setback was, don't let that dictate how you decide to move forward. As long as you move forward authentically. I feel like some of you guys are like really feeling the heat from the fire right now. Some of you guys might be, I was about to say like in hot water. You might be in kind of like a pressure cooker kind of situation right now as you watch this. And It's almost like maybe you need that to put a fire under your ass so you can see a little bit more clearly what it is that you need to walk away from. What risk it is that is available that you could take that will help kind of set you on the right path. All right, let's get with the blues. Blue is a primary color and it is associated with logic, honesty, trust, and communication. Ancient Egyptians celebrated the color, creating the first synthetic blue pigment. The color also has powerful religious significance across cultures. Blue is also connected to the water element, and as a result, it is sometimes used to symbolize transition and our emotional depth. Like water, blue can be cleansing, both physically and spiritually. Blue light can wash away feelings of sadness and is used as a treatment for seasonal affective disorder. Blue is also correlated with the throat energy center, which governs communication. When blue cards come up in a reading, it can be a signal to honor the preciousness of this transitional time. All these cards have to do with crossing some sort of threshold. We've been talking about doors, and there is actual door symbology here on this first house card. So crossing the threshold into your most authentic self, mentally and in the world, as your main character energy. The blue cards can ask you to surrender to the flow, here we go, the flow of the current, to foster a deeper sense of trust within yourself, to accept that, as with all things in life, your current situation will change. Let these cards help move you through. The flow card specifically says, the name aquamarine is derived from two Latin words, aqua and marina, meaning seawater. This card is about going with the flow, changing and adapting to a situation rather than fighting against it. It is important to keep in mind that currents can be very strong, and water always gets where it wants to go, slowly carving away stone as it flows by. Let this thought guide you on your journey, and let the water carry you where you need to go. All right, so this makes me think about fighting / adaptation. Like it says, it's better to adapt to a situation than trying to fight against it. And I think that you've been fighting your true self who wants to come out. You've been trying to fight with some sort of idea that has not been serving you, or fight with some circumstance of your life that has not been serving you, rather than trying to adapt to it in your most authentic way. If you let your authenticity flow, then things I think would be a lot easier for you as you went into this transitional period of life. So you have to learn to let the flow, because your authentic self is going to come out eventually, even if it's when you're like 80 years old. But wouldn't you rather have been your authentic self for most of your life rather than just for like the last few years of it? So stop fighting your authenticity, stop fighting who you really are, and let that come forth, let that come forward, so that you can live in a more peaceful and authentic flow. I know I'm saying authentic a lot, but I'm trying to drive the point home. You got to just be who you really are and choose that path. Definitely, water coming through as being really, really important for you. Like I said, we got water benders. We did get pirates as well. We also got water signs, and now we have flow here. So some of you guys really could benefit by maybe like taking a trip to the ocean or to the beach, or even just to a pool, or like I said, taking a bath. Maybe like the shower might be not as good for you spiritually. Like this is literally making me think of like a rain shower here with this anxiety card, versus this is like a steady stream from a bath, so you might want to take more baths or do more self-care rituals with or around water. Okay, that definitely is coming through as well. We could have some swimmers in here, or surfers or something like that, or maybe you are destined to be one of those things. If you don't know how to swim, you might benefit from taking swim lessons. Take it however it resonates, but definitely the advice from Spirit here is to focus on how to bring your true self to the table. And if there is a setback going on in your life, see it as an opportunity for growth. and walk away from anybody who is not making you feel good about yourself, anybody who is maybe putting you down, making negative comments, who is kind of like trying to keep you under their thumb, keep you from growing into the best version of yourself. There just keeps like, there's like this feeling of somebody like being in somebody's shadow or somebody like being over your shoulder. And you definitely would benefit from escaping from that, escaping from them, and standing on your own 2 feet, being yourself, being your truest self. And I think that this person or this situation that we're talking about just does not support that. They don't want that. They don't want to see you be strong. They don't want to see you be your best self. And Spirit does. And I think that you do too, deep down. You know that you're capable of it. You know that you want it. It's just a matter of leaving those things behind and, stepping over that threshold into your new life where you can have a good outlook on life. You can have a good self-image. You can have a good life philosophy. You can be truthful about your life philosophy and, voice your opinions and, be self-aware, show up the way that you want to show up. This is a whole new entry point to a whole new world. A whole new world, Aladdin coming through as well too, so that could be confirmation for somebody. There's also a message here just about focusing your mind and focusing your energy on trying to organize your thoughts and trying to get your anxiety under control. Even if it's not like chronic anxiety, you might have anxiety about one specific thing or something like that. Trying to organize your thoughts here through focus. So you could try some focus exercises if meditation is not your thing or if you're not really into that. You could try some focus exercises that will help you to organize your thoughts or quiet your mind in some kind of way. But yes, that would be, I think, very beneficial to you as well. Just trying to come to an accord on something. And like I said, that accord does not have to be with another person. It can be with yourself. Trying to like reconcile your thoughts within your own mind will be helpful. There are, some exercises and stuff, and I don't mean mental exercises, I do mean physical exercises where people have reported, going into a flow state and things like that. So just on a personal level, I know when I was really consistently doing hot yoga, I would leave in what they called like a very like blissed out state. And it was like my mind was like completely clear. And that actually lasted for a really long time. Like I remember thinking very, very specifically for several weeks. Like it was almost like I had no thoughts for certain periods of the day, It was like my brain was just this very calm place. And it was really, really nice. That is like one of the things that I don't do hot yoga now as regularly as I used to. But I just remember I was literally going every single day for like weeks and weeks and weeks. And I remember during that time, my brain was so calm. And it really felt like this flow state. It felt like that. I also am a swimmer. And so whenever I do swim, it's like I'm underwater, and so it's like the whole world is like blocked out. You can't hear things when you're underwater. So it's just like this quiet space where there's nothing really to do but focus on the swimming and the movements and things like that. And so I just kind of feel like you would benefit from something like that, even if it's not either of those specific things. If you can find something that would allow you to get into that space, then I think it would be very good for you. But remember, you have free will. You can do whatever you want. This is just advice from Spirit. All right, Pal 1, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to like this video. Thank you so much for sticking through it with me. I love you all. I'm rooting for you. I wish you all nothing but the best. Empress of Fortune out. I've never said that before. I don't know why I said it just now, but you get the idea. Love you all. Talk to you later. Hey Hey there, pile two. Welcome, welcome. We're going to do our identifiers right now. So if you would like to skip to the part with the cards, straight to the reading, there is another timestamp down below. But this is going to be a little friendly, helpful confirmation for some people who want that. Let's go ahead and get it for them and see what we've got from the bowl. Spirit, my pile two people. Who are they? We're finding out which house or planet of their natal chart that they need to pay attention to at this time that they're watching this. So who are my pile two people who chose the Light Seers Tarot? Who are they? Spirit, tell us about pile two. Who's in pile two? Right now while I'm doing this is a great time to go ahead and like this video and to subscribe to my channel. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button. It makes me and you more connected so that I can be more accurate to your particular situation. And it helps other people find this video in case they need to hear any of the information contained therein. So yeah, go ahead and do that. Help it out, help out the community, help me out. That would be great. And I would appreciate it. Spirit, is there anybody else in pile two? Anybody else in pile two? All right, let's see. All right, cool. Okie dokie, artichoke. Oh, that's so funny that I said that. Maybe you had an artichoke recently. I just had an artichoke yesterday. I had like spinach and artichoke dip. To be honest, it was not very good and I didn't finish it, but I did have it. So maybe this is my pile. Who knows? We've got here Cinna from the Hunger Games in the movie played by Lenny Kravitz. Cinna was Katniss's stylist. So the way that these work is that any of these should be like familiar to you. They could have shown up in your life in the past couple of days even, or it might be like really significant to you. So like maybe you're a really big fan of the Hunger Games, or maybe you were recently browsing Lenny Kravitz's Wikipedia page and you saw that he played Cinna, right? Or maybe Cinna was your favorite character in the book or in the movie or something like that, right? So in that kind of vein is what we're looking for. Blueberries. So blueberries could be like your favorite fruit. Maybe you had a blueberry muffin the other day. Yeah, something like that. Work from Home by Fifth Harmony. So that's a song. Maybe you work from home, or maybe that song came on, you heard it recently, or it could be like your favorite song. Maybe it's like your favorite workout jam or something like that. Animal print. That could be wearing animal print right now. Maybe you wore some yesterday, or maybe you have a lot of animal print like around your house. 93 Till Infinity by Souls of Mischief. That's a song. Monstera. That's a plant. Suitcase. That could be like you're going on a trip, or maybe you're packing a suitcase while you're watching this, or maybe you're unpacking while you're watching this. Maybe you just bought a new suitcase. Key tattoo. You could have a tattoo of a key, or you could be planning to get one. Or maybe you recently saw somebody who had a key tattoo. Maybe like your favorite character in a book or a movie has a key tattoo. Nobody's Supposed to Be Here by Deborah Cox. How did you get here? Helena by My Chemical Romance. That's a song. Nobody's supposed to be here. I've tried this love thing for the last time. My heart says no, no. Yeah, that song really wants to come through. Nobody's Supposed to Be Here by Deborah Cox. So we also have cricket here. That could be the sport. It could be an actual cricket. Maybe that's somebody's nickname. All Black Everything. Picture by Sheryl Crow and Kid Rock. That's a song. The Joker by Steve Miller Band. That's a song. We've got a lot of music coming out. Linkin Park. That's a band. A Fine Romance by Judith Sills, PhD. That's a sociology book about courting from meeting to marriage. Tea ceremony. So maybe you recently went to like a tea ceremony. Maybe you have like a tea ritual that you do every day. That is supposed to be like a Chinese tea ceremony. That was the intention behind the card, but it could mean other things. Portions for Foxes by Rilo Kiley. That's a song. There's blood in my mouth because I've been biting my tongue all week. Summertime in Paris by Jaden and Willow. So similarly to Work From Home, you might really like that song, or maybe you spent summertime in Paris or something like that. Clumsy by Fergie. Can't Help It, The Girl Can't Help It. Cheerleader by Omi, the Felix Jane radio edit. Yeah, there's a lot of music coming out. Definitely much more music than ever came out in Pile 1. Pull Up by Abra. It's another song. Casino by Houndmouth. Yeah, you could just be really into music. All right, we've got Dreamgirls. That is the Broadway play. Could also be the movie starring Beyonce, Jennifer Hudson. Lose My Breath. Whoa, I did just say Beyonce. Beyonce's coming through. Okay, Lose My Breath, Destiny's Child. If you don't know, Beyonce was in that group, which I feel like you should know, but maybe you don't. Lobster. Maybe you ate some lobster recently and maybe it's your favorite crustacean. Splinter by Spilltab. Lobsters also make me think of like the Northeast, just like Maine, Massachusetts, that kind of thing. Death Cab for Cutie. Death Cab for Cutie, the lead singer, Ben Gibbard, and the lead singer of Rilo Kiley, which came out where? Right here. Ginny Lewis, they collaborate a lot actually, or have in the past. 1894 by Amber Mark. That's a song. We've got here Sassafras, Cypress, and Indigo. That's a book by Ntozake Shange. Ntozake Shange might just be significant. We've got the number 2 here. That, for some reason, I just thought about ice cream, like 2 scoops of ice cream. It was so random. That could be the month of February, which would be Pisces and Aquarius energy. You could be seeing 222 or 2222. Maybe you are 22. Maybe you live on the 2nd floor or the 2nd apartment, 2nd street, 2nd avenue. Maybe you're one of 2 kids or you have 2 kids or something like that. Karaoke. I wanted to say earlier that Picture is like a very popular karaoke duet, but I didn't say it. Now I am. So, yeah. Famous last words. Maybe you heard somebody say that recently or something. Maybe you were looking up people's famous last words. I don't know. Katara, Avatar The Last Airbender. If you know, you know. Doctor by Remy Wolf. That's a song. I don't want to be your doctor. Juicy by Doja Cat featuring Tyga. I keep it juicy, juicy. I eat that lunch. Mia Thermopolis, main character from The Princess Diaries, played by Anne Hathaway in the movie. Princess Diaries, that is also a book series. We've got pineapple here, so that could be your favorite fruit. Maybe you're one of my fellow pineapple pizza eaters. Maybe you had some pineapple recently or something like that. Maybe you wear your hair in like a pineapple type of style. If you know, you know. DJ Tambi, I knew like it was like music is coming out here a lot. So DJ Tambi is not actually a DJ, at least not to my knowledge. He is a tattoo artist. I think DJ is just like his initials, but whenever this comes out, it does make me think of like wicka wicka, like a DJ. Ink Master is also written on here, so you may know DJ Tambi from Ink Master. He has won the most times in the history of the show. He's won 3 times, and he recently came back as a judge. 8701, the album by Usher. And then also now I just thought about You Make Me Wanna by Usher, which I'm not positive is on that album, but it's coming through. We Got Love by Tiana Taylor featuring Ms. Lauryn Hill. You might be in like a long-standing relationship. That obviously is not going to apply to everybody here, but I was just thinking about like this piece of paper feels very like worn, feels very like well-loved, I'll say. So yeah, earrings coming through. So you might have like tattoos and piercings or something like that. This Charming Man by Stars. That's a cover of a song by the Smiths. I don't know why I feel the need to mention this in every single, I guess I just need like a Barnes & Noble slip, because every single time this comes out, I feel the need to mention that I heard it in a Barnes & Noble for the first time. So maybe I just need a Barnes & Noble slip. I don't know why. I always want to say that. Marlon Wayans, actor and comedian. Las Vegas. Ooh. I think that means like the gardens or the meadows or something. Doctor Strange, from Marvel. We've got here, I think he's played by Benedict Cumberbatch. Teddy Pendergrass, musician. Amber. So this is our second mention of Amber. We had here with Amber Mark, 1894 by Amber Mark, and now we have Amber here. That could be the song by 311. Oh, Amber is the color of your energy. Or there was an Amber on Love is Blind season 1. There was also one on season 4, and there were 2 Ambers on season, what was this, season 6 maybe? Whatever. But Amber, very popular name in the Love is Blind universe. I don't know why, but I guess, it is what it is. Jill Zarin. She is the second Real Housewife of New York to come out today. In pile 1, we had Countess Luann de Lesseps, and now here we have Jill Zarin. I don't have any more Real Housewives in the bowl, but I just think that's funny. Okay. The London. This could also just be London. So like London and Paris coming through, since we did have summertime in Paris here, right here. London and Paris coming through. But this also is supposed to be that song by Young Thug, J. Cole, and I don't remember who the third person is. Is it Ty Dolla $ign? Maybe. I'm not sure. Throat chakra. So you could be working on your throat chakra. Maybe you've had a sore throat recently, or you're having issues with your voice, or maybe you just healed it, or whatever. Shanghai and or Nicki Minaj. So Nicki Minaj has a song called Shanghai, but this could also just be representative of Shanghai, China. Sexy villain, Remy Wolf. That's our second mention of Remy Wolf today. Well, actually, no. We had Remy Wolf in pile 1, so it's our third mention of Remy Wolf today, but our second mention of Remy Wolf in this pile. If you guys can't tell, I'm a big Remy Wolf fan. But yeah, go stream Remy Wolf's music. Love her. But yeah, lots of music coming out here. Cold Hearted 2 by Meek Mill. So Nicki Minaj and Meek Mill just came out. They used to be a couple. They're not a couple anymore, but they did used to be a couple. So that's interesting that energy came out. We had another used to be couple come out in pile 1, so that's weird. Nick Miller from New Girl. Nick Miller. Played by Jake Johnson. Young Dolph, rapper, R.I.P. We miss you. Grand Crew, that is a show. Bon Iver, Ate Up All Their Cake, AUATC, that's a song. I was up all night, and I was down low. Pranks and or Punked. So Pranks and New Girl make me think of Winston, so Winston Bishop is coming out here. Played by Lamorne Morris. But Punked was a TV show where Ashton Kutcher would like prank celebrities back in the day. 4th of July, Independence Day. So that's Independence Day in the United States. If your country has an Independence Day and it's different, then it would be whatever date that is. Could be significant somehow. Nicole Byer, I knew she was going to come out. She was on Grand Crew. She also was on Girl Code, and I think she's on that show. She hosts that show Wipeout or whatever. Is that with John Cena? I don't know. I don't watch it, but I feel like I saw an ad for it the other day. Build-A-Bear. That's that store. Usually it's in the mall where people go to like make stuffed animals. We Used to Be Friends by the Dandy Warhols. That is a song. It's also the theme song for Veronica Mars. The TV show starring Kristen Bell. Blackberries. Didn't we have blueberries? We did. Now we have blackberries. So berries are coming through, whatever that's about. Blackberry also makes me think about the cell phone that used to be popular back in the day. Sunflower. Ooh, cute. Obviously speaks for itself, but also that makes me think of the song Sunflower by Post Malone. The Good Place TV show. Kristen Bell, she's all up and through here. Like I said, she was the star of Veronica Mars, and she's also the star of The Good Place. So Kristen Bell coming through. Last but not least, we have here Permission by Ro James. Yes, that's a sexy song. Okay. Also, the initials DC might be significant, or maybe like Washington, D.C., like District of Columbia could be significant somehow. But we've got Deborah Cox here, that's D.C., Destiny's Child, D.C. We also have Death Cab, D.C. A lot of people will call that band just Death Cab instead of the whole name Death Cab for Cutie. So yeah. Oh, and Doja Cat, DC. So DC coming up pretty strongly as well. All right, guys, I'm going to go write these down in my tarot journal. If you're interested, I did make a tarot journal for y'all, so go check that out. I also made an abundance journal for you guys, so go check out both those links in the description box below. And I will see you guys in just a second. Hey there, Pile 2. Welcome, welcome to your reading. If you chose the Light Seers Tarot, then this is the part with the cards. Let's go ahead and get into it. Let me go ahead and put those off to the side. We're going to get out our houses and planets first, since we are primarily trying to find out which house or planet needs your attention right now. So if you haven't already, oh, what's this? I missed this one. From our identifiers, it says Barney Stinson. Alrighty then. That may be a little gut check to let you know that this is for you. Barney Stinson, played by Neil Patrick Harris, was one of the characters on How I Met Your Mother, main characters. All right, anyway. Let's see, Pile 2, which house or planet do you really need to pay attention to? I was just about to say, if you are not familiar with your birth chart, there are lots of places online that you can go get it. One of them is astro.com, another one is cafeastrology.com. There are other spots online that you can go get your natal chart, but definitely you will want to go and look into that in order for this reading to like take full, I won't even say take full effect, but to like have its full impact. So yeah, Pile 2, my people who chose Pile 2 Spirit, let's connect to their guides, angels, ancestors, benevolent ancestors, and higher self. Which house or planet does Pile 2 need to pay attention to, need to give some attention in their life in order to move forward? Let's see what we got here. We got the 4th house. Interesting. Okay. I've actually been doing a lot of reading about the 4th house because I actually have a 4th house stellium. So I have a lot of planets in my 4th house. 3 to be exact. But yeah, 4th house. This is roots. This could be your family, home, background, comfort, cooking, inner world, real estate, shelter, self-care, rejuvenation, habits, and shell. So if you're not familiar with your natal chart, each house has a sign that it is automatically associated with. So that would start with like the zodiac. The 1st house would be automatically associated with Aries, and it would go all the way around to 12, which means that the 4th house has an automatic association with Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer. But on your particular natal chart, it probably is not going to match that automatic association because your natal chart is reflective of where the stars were at the time of your birth. So your 4th house on your chart could have a different sign associated with it. So you're going to want to go look at your natal chart and see what sign is associated with your 4th house. And that will give you some additional information. And if there are any planets in your 4th house. If there are, you can look those up too and what that means. If there aren't any planets in your 4th house, then stick with the sign. So it'd be like 4th house Sagittarius, for example. My 4th house is in the sign of Sagittarius. So you could look up maybe on YouTube or on Twitter or even on Instagram. There are a lot of astrologers out there who give out free information. There are a lot of websites as well that will give you information that you can use. And this is going to be different for everybody because everybody is probably going to have some different sign in their fourth house. So you'll definitely want to go take a look at your natal chart, but look at the fourth house and see what sign is associated there and see what people have to say about it. But it's definitely going to have something to do with your family, your home, your background, comfort, cooking, inner world, real estate, shelter, self-care, rejuvenation, habits, and shell. So just to give you an example, I told you guys I've been doing a lot of fourth house research on myself because I do have a stellium in my fourth house. And my fourth house is in Sagittarius. So I actually am very nomadic. I am not the type of person to like settle down, to plant roots in any one place really. And that is reflective of my fourth house in Sagittarius because Sagittarius rules over travel and kind of like spontaneity, fire sign energy. So that really resonates with me because I don't have a lot of roots in any particular place and I do like to move around a lot. So that's just an example. Go look up your fourth house and what sign it's in and get your own interpretation for your particular natal chart. But let's go ahead and keep pushing forward to see what exactly about your fourth house you need to look into. All right, we're gonna get our prism deck out here. We're doing this a little different than how I did it in pile one. In pile one, I had not followed. Before I made this reading, or before I started filming, I guess I should say, I did kind of like an outline of how I wanted to pull the decks and stuff like that. And in pile one, I did not really adhere to that outline. So I'm going to go back to it in pile two, but I'll go ahead and show you guys kind of just like how I do things. So we're doing this reading right here, which planet or house needs your attention. And I said, like, I'm going to pull from this deck first, and then I'm going to pull from this deck second, and then from these third, and then this one last, right? Number 4. But in pile one, I didn't really follow that. So we're back on track in pile 2. Okay, Spirit, my pile 2 people. What about their fourth house do they need to address? What do they need to give some attention to when it comes to their fourth house? Stop. Interesting. What else? Is there anything else about their fourth house that they need to give attention to? We've got here consciousness. Hunger. All right. This is an interesting little message here. And you know what's interesting also is that it says here cooking is part of the fourth house. So I wonder if some of you guys have interest in cooking or maybe something to do with your diet. Maybe you're working on changing your diet or working with your diet to help you. You might be struggling with something to do with possibly like trigger warning, an eating disorder, or something to do with like your mindset around food. I feel like with stop, consciousness, and hunger, this could have something to do with your particular feelings about food or your thoughts about food. But now I'm also getting like the larger community and dealing with food maybe in your family, or like even the idea of like world hunger is coming through as well. Okay. Let's go ahead and we're going to get some cards from this other deck here. I'm going out of order again because I just feel like I want to. So we're going to get some cards from this deck here. This deck was supposed to be last, but we're going to do it third now. Spirit, can you help clarify this message for pile 2 about their fourth house, what they need to pay attention to about their fourth house? All right, we've got here, a new day, a new start. It's okay to fail. Every day is a new start, and I will treat myself graciously. Okay, so for those of you guys who may be on a diet or might be trying to diet or to change something to do with the way that you eat, it is very difficult to break those types of habits. Oh, and habits is on here too, actually. So let me hold this up so you guys can see it a little bit better. Habits is on here too in the fourth house. So for me, this is speaking to you trying to form a new habit. It doesn't have to be around food specifically, but you may have like a hunger to change something about your life, to level up in some way and to change a habit, to either stop doing something or to start doing something. I'm going to say you're probably trying to stop doing something since we do have this stop card here. I'll give you guys an example from my personal life. I'm trying to stop consuming so much sugar. I feel like I have a sugar issue. And my family actually does have a history, unfortunately, of diabetes. So, you know, going with family and background and stuff like that here, diabetes can cause all kinds of issues. Sugar overconsumption can cause all kinds of issues, including memory issues and Alzheimer's and things like that, right? Which can affect your consciousness, right? So I'm really trying to cut back on sugar, and it is difficult. It is very hard. Sugar is like very addictive. You know, when I don't have it, I think about it, at least for the first few days. And after that, it gets a lot easier. But then there are times when I slip up. You know, I'm not a perfect person. There are times when I slip up, and so I just have to think about like, okay, well, I have another opportunity to make a different choice later today or tomorrow or whatever. And so I think here the idea is that you can give yourself a little bit of grace when it comes to whatever it is that you're trying to change in your life. That doesn't mean give yourself grace to like, you know, go all out on like a binge session or whatever necessarily, but it can mean that you can, if you make a mistake, not beat yourself up about it. Okay, so that song Blessings by Nicki Minaj is coming through right now. Nicki Minaj did come out in our Identifiers as well. But yeah, you don't have to beat yourself up about it if you happen to make a mistake as you're trying to form a new habit. And for some of you guys, you might be trying to like set examples for your family members, or to maybe change the way that, like, for example, if you're a mom or a dad and you cook for your family, you might be trying to change up some of the things that your family eats. And so you're trying to like make a change in habits for your entire household, right? You could be trying to make generational changes as well here. So that's just an example. We're just using food as an example, but it is okay to make mistakes. It says it's okay to fail here. Every day is a new start, and treat yourself graciously. So yeah, let's see. What about the fourth house does pile 2 need to give attention to? What is going on with pile 2 and the fourth house? All right, we got here the 9 of Pentacles. Yeah, I am getting like healthy eating and also self-sufficiency as well. So this could have to do with like standing on your own 2 feet, being able to support yourself, have your own home. Some of you guys may be interested in like home ownership or something like that. We got 3 of Pentacles here in the reverse. We've got Justice here in the reverse. And we have the Wheel of Fortune here in the reverse. So whatever it is, something's not going super well. I'm just going to go ahead and say that. Something's not going super well. And this could be something to do with work. It could be something to do with trying to find balance somewhere. It could have something to do with like working in a group. So here's an example again. We're going to go back to food. We're just going to probably use food as an example for this whole time. But it doesn't... You can use that as a metaphor and take it and apply it to your own life, okay? If you have something going on that sounds like what I'm talking about now, definitely leave me a comment down below so I can see what the food is a metaphor for you. Metaphor for? Anyway, let's say that you're trying to form a habit and you're trying to eat healthier. Let's use sugar again. You're trying to stop eating sugar. And you're doing a really good job when you're by yourself. You on your own, you're doing a stellar job. Maybe you don't keep sugary things in the house. And you were able to, you know, get over your sugar cravings after a couple days. And now you are sugar-free. And you've been sugar-free for a couple of weeks and you feel good. And then let's say that you go to, you know, like a little barbecue or whatever at your parents' house. And you get around your family. And there are cupcakes. There are sweets of all different kinds. There's sweet tea. There's this, that, and the other, right? And now that you're in this group, you're with all these other people, it's much more difficult for you to maintain your self-control, and it becomes harder for you to say no. And so maybe you fall off track, okay? When that happens, it is okay. Nobody's going to be perfect. You have to give yourself time. And especially when it comes to like lifestyle changes or changing habits, you have to give yourself time. You know, Rome wasn't built in a day, and a habit's not built in a day either. It takes time to form a new habit and to kind of like reprogram your brain. Because brain chemistry is very overpowering. You know, it's not like when you think about like an actual addiction, for example, it's not like everybody who's addicted to a substance wants to be addicted to it. A lot of people want to stop and they are physically unable to stop because their brain chemistry will not let them. They're hungry for whatever it is, you know, whether it's drugs or gambling or food. You know, people can have food addictions and things like that. Alcohol, they're hungry for it. And it's like their brain is having a very difficult time functioning without that thing. And so you have to be able to give yourself grace in those times when you fall off track. But also here we are having a message of learning how to say no. For some of you guys, this might not be like a substance. It might not be food or, you know, an illicit substance or anything like that. It might literally be like having a hard time saying no to people who want maybe like too much of your time or too much of your attention, when you should be focusing more on your home or yourself or whatever, your family. Like it might be outside obligations. Here's another example. Let's say that like you have a pretty demanding job and that job pays you a lot of money, so you're very secure, but they keep asking you to maybe take on somebody else's duties. And that other person is perfectly capable of doing those duties, but they just have better boundaries maybe than you do. Or maybe somebody got fired and now you have to take on a whole bunch of duties that aren't part of your job description. And you feel obligated like you have to because that's your job. But meanwhile, it's like, one, not going well, and two, it's taking time away from your family. You have to learn when and how to say no. And also how to like know what your priorities are, right? So, you know, not everybody's always going to be able to make good decisions in the moment. And sometimes you have to give yourself time, but you also have to give yourself grace. Maybe sometimes you need to like think about things before you answer them. So like, you know, somebody asks like, hey, are you able to do this? Or, hey, do you want another glass of sweet tea? Either way, you can be like, let me think about it and I'll get back to you in a little bit. Once I check in with myself, or once I check my schedule. I think that you may need to give yourself a moment to pause and think about certain things before just kind of like letting the hunger take over or letting the people pleasing take over or whatever. All right. All right, let's see if there's anything else that wants to come out. We got 7 of Swords in the reverse. Spirit, anything else for pile 2 with their 4th house, things that they need to pay attention to in their 4th house. And I will say that the sign in your 4th house will kind of point to you where in your life you really need to take this to heart. So, yeah, we got the 8 of Pentacles here. So 7 of Swords in reverse is like, you need to stop self-sabotaging. And this is going to be work, okay? This is going to be hard work for you, but it's not that it's not doable, but it's just like it's a daily practice, you know? And so think about maybe playing an instrument, for example. Some practice days are going to be better than others, or playing a sport. Some days at practice are going to be better than others. It's not like you're going to be a tip-top shape every single day, but what matters is that you get back out on the field, or you pick the instrument back up, or you sit back down at the piano or whatever the following day to try again. So, anything else? Okay. Yeah. You can do this. It may seem hard, and it might also seem like certain people aren't on your side, or certain people are not really like as supportive as they could be, or certain environments maybe aren't as supportive as they could be, but this is going to take a mental shift from you, and it's also going to take practice and action. You know, if you fall off the wagon, it's okay. Just get back on. What do they say about the horse? You know, if at first you don't succeed, try again. If you fall off the horse, what's important is that you get back on. So yeah, I'm intrigued. If you're working on starting or stopping a habit, definitely leave a comment down below, because I would love to hear what it is that you're working on, and I'm sure other people would too, so we can all support each other, cheer each other on. So for some of you guys, it might be something as simple as like trying to wake up earlier. You see how she's like, you know, yawning, getting out of bed, or it might have something to do with like even taking better care of your plants or whatever, right? If you're trying to start a habit or stop something, the best advice here is give yourself a moment to think about it before you take action on something or before you accept something from somebody. And then just tell them, I'll get back to you in a little bit, or let me think about it. And kind of like let that process, that thought process go through until you've reached a conclusion about what it is that you really want to do. And then you can return to the space or to the person and give them your answer about what it is that you really want to do. And in the meantime, give yourself grace as you're trying to, you know, as you're trying to pick this up or put this down, because things take time. I'm going to say some signs that we've got here, since we are talking about astrology with the zodiac. We've got Libra here with the Justice card, with the Wheel of Fortune. Those are all the fixed signs. So that would be Leo, Aquarius, Taurus, and Scorpio. So any of those may be relevant to you as well. Alrighty, pile 2. Don't forget to like this video and to hit that follow or subscribe button. I am so excited that you're here. Thank you so much for spending some time watching with me and being here with me, being here with us, the collective on this channel. I love you, I love you, I love you. Good luck on whatever it is that you're doing, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Hey there, pile 3. Welcome. We're going to get our identifiers out to help you confirm that this reading is, in fact, your reading. If you already feel very strongly through your intuition that this reading is for you, there is another timestamp down below that will say pile 3 reading, and it will take you straight to the part with the cards. So it's up to you. If you want to skip over this part, you're more than welcome to. And if you decide to stay, then welcome as well. Spirit, I would like to get in touch with pile 3, their guides, angels, benevolent ancestors, and higher self. We want to know who's in pile 3. We're asking today about which house or planet they need to pay attention to in their natal chart. So yeah, who are my pile 3 people? Spirit, who are my pile 3 people? While I'm doing this, this is the perfect time for you to hit that subscribe button, subscribe to the channel. It does make you and I more connected so that I can read your energy more easily with more accuracy. And also hit the like button, that thumbs up on this video, because it helps the video spread farther across YouTube so other people who may need to hear this message can find it. Spirit, is there anybody else in pile 3? Any other pile 3 people? All right, cool. Let's get right to it. Okie dokie, we have Angus, Thongs, and Full Frontal Snogging. That is a book, one of the books from the Georgia Nicholson series by Louise Richardson. Here we have the number 9. That does make me think of that song 9 by SZA and Willow. This also is the month of September, which would be Virgo and Libra energies. You could live on the 9th floor, 9th street. 9 could be your favorite number or your lucky number. You might be seeing 999 or 9999. You could have 9 people in your family, things like that. Afternoon by Max Biancon. That is a song. Oh, it also could be like 9 o'clock right now as you're watching this. Kayaita by Bad Bunny and Tiny. That's a song. I Don't Want to Wait by Paula Cole. Another song that's also the theme song for Dawson's Creek, the TV show starring James Vanderbeek. I want to say Katie Holmes was in there too. I did not watch that show. So I really don't have all the details on it, but yeah. Taste, Tyga featuring Offset. Can I get a taste? All right, we have here Bluebird, Miranda Lambert, Charles Bukowski. So any of those three things could be relevant. Bluebird's just on their own, Miranda Lambert on her own, Charles Bukowski on his own, but Miranda Lambert has a song called Bluebird and Charles Bukowski has a poem called Bluebird. We have air signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. So that could be your Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, or North Node. Oh, I forgot to say, the way that these things work, if you have never been with me before, is that at least one of them should be really familiar to you, significant to you somehow, or it could have shown up even in just like the past few days in your life in passing. Monopoly. So like maybe you played Monopoly recently, or you saw an ad for Monopoly recently, or maybe Monopoly is like your favorite board game or something like that. Or you could have just had like a heated discussion with somebody about Monopoly or something. That also makes me think about that song by Ariana Grande and Victoria Monet as well, Monopoly. Bob Marley. Jamaican musician. Prolific Jamaican musician. Mike's Mike, YouTube. That's funny that that came out because I was just thinking, in between pile 2 and pile 3, I took a break and I was like, I wonder if Mike's Mike has like posted any new videos or anything. And I was like, it would be so funny if Mike's Mike came out in pile 3. And then there it is. Pink Velvet. That is a fabric, like a colored fabric. So you might have something with pink velvet on it. Roller coaster. So maybe you like love roller coasters. They might be your favorite. You might have plans to go on one in the next few days or soon. Maybe you recently went on one. Angela Bassett. Cardi B. So Angela Bassett is an actress. She's an actress. Cardi B is a rapper. Privacy. You may have recently taken some steps to increase your privacy. Maybe you've changed your passwords. Maybe you were part of like a privacy leak or breach or something like that. You might have like got new locks or something like that. Nicki Minaj, Marilyn Monroe. So either of those two people could be relevant somehow. But Nicki Minaj does have a song called Marilyn Monroe. You may be a Barb. We do have Mike's Mike here. He is like a total Barb. He loves Nicki. So you may be a Barb as well. Nice, Beyonce and Jay-Z. That's a song by the Carters. We've got here the number 10, 9 and 10. So that could also be September 10th or October 9th could be relevant somehow. But October, that's the month of Libra and Scorpio. You could live on the 10th floor, 10 people in your family. You might have 10-10 or be seeing 10-10. 10 could be your favorite number. You could live in the apartment number 10, things like that. Or on 10th Street, 10th Avenue. We have lemongrass here. It makes me think about Thai food. The Thai restaurant that I used to like to go to was called Lemongrass. Zach Brown Band, Colder Weather. That's a song. Closer. That's a movie. Okay, I was like not in the mood to sing this, but I guess I have to sing the song. Said I want to see you again, but I'm stuck in colder weather. Maybe tomorrow will be better. Can I call you then? All right, so maybe somebody said that they would call you tomorrow. All right, Closer. That's a movie starring Julia Roberts, Jude Law, Natalie Portman, and Clive Owen. Baskin Robbins. So that is an ice cream shop, but I also wrote it in a way that made me think of Carol Baskin from Tiger King, and then Tony Robbins, the like self-help guru. Evermore, Taylor Swift featuring Bon Iver. It's a song. Chateau Marmont, Hollywood. That also makes me think of the song called Chateau by Angus and Julia Stone. So the name Angus is coming through. I don't know if you know somebody named Angus or something like that. I also do know that there's like Angus beef, but the name Angus is coming through because we have Angus thongs and full frontal stocking right here. And then I said Angus and Julia Stone with Chateau. Yeah. The Gambler by Kenny Rogers. That's a song. Gotta know when to hold 'em. Gotta know when to fold 'em. Know when to walk away. Know when to run. Bad, Bad, or Baddest by Cynthia Voigt. That does also make me think of Valentina Voigt, lingerie designer. Shout out to the Voigt Barbies. Peggy Hill from King of the Hill, or just King of the Hill in general. Right now I'm also thinking about that song, John Redcorn by Sir, and the music video for it, which is based on King of the Hill. Sweet Love by Anita Baker. That's a song. Lil Sebastian, Mini Horse from Parks and Rec. Parks and Rec is a TV show. End of Time by Beyonce. So we got 2 Beyonce mentions here. There was, I think Beyonce showed up in pile 2 as well, or like Beyonce Energy showed up in pile 2. Ring, that could be like a Ring doorbell. That was the first thing I thought of, especially with privacy being here, but I guess it also could be like a ring on your finger. I did say like maybe somebody said that they would call you tomorrow, so maybe somebody would give you a ring tomorrow, like on the phone. Swing Swing, All American Rejects. Annie Mac, British radio DJ. Gabrielle Union. Gabrielle Union energy also came up in pile 2. You may have messages as well in pile 2. Let's see, what do we have here? Jason and Kira by Dana Davidson. That's a book. It's like a young adult novel. Love story. Chad Michael Murray. Okay. He's an actor. He was on One Tree Hill. Along for the Ride by Sarah Dessen. That is a book, but they turned it into a movie. The movie is on Netflix. Lemon Breland from Heart of Dixie. Good by Better Than Ezra. That's a song. And we've also got Pecan Pie, or Pecan Pie, I don't know how you say it. And then last but not least, Love, Simon. All right. Something that I'm noticing is that it seems like the concept of maybe like timelessness or the future is coming up here. We've got like End of Time by Beyonce, and then like Evermore by Taylor Swift and Bon Iver. That just makes me think of like, you know, forever, right? Forever is coming through here. And now that I'm saying that, also like ring, you know, engagement rings, when you get married, it is supposed to be like forever, right? Forever. So yeah, that is coming through. Not super, super strong, but like it is here. I don't know if you've been thinking about forever or talking with somebody about forever. There's also another Sarah Dessen book we have along for the ride right here, but she has another book called The Truth About Forever. And so that may be relevant to you in somewhere, somehow. I'm going to go write these in my tarot journal. If you're interested, I did make a tarot journal for you guys. I also made an abundance journal, both of which are linked down below. Go check those out. And I will see you guys in just a second for your reading. Hey there, Pile 3. Welcome to your reading. All right, let's go ahead and find out which house or planet needs your attention. So for those of you guys who maybe aren't super familiar with astrology, Your natal chart, you're going to want to take a look at it. You can go to astro.com or cafeastrology.com. Both of those are free natal chart services. You will want and need to know your birth time in order to have accurate results. So make sure you find that out because that is important. But yeah, okay, let's find out. Spirit, Pile 3, guides, angels, benevolent ancestors, and higher self. Let's ask which chart, which house or planet does Pile 3 need to give some attention to so that they can, grow in their life? Let's see. Pluto. Okay, so for those of you guys who don't know, Pluto is in Aquarius right now, at least at the time of me filming this in 2024. Pluto just moved into Aquarius. We're entering like a whole new Plutonic age, but you would need to go and find on your natal chart where Pluto is, which house it's in, which sign it's in, what it means for it to be in that sign and in that house. There are a lot of different resources for astrology out there, whether that is, other YouTubers, people on Twitter or Instagram, books that you find, websites that you find, but you're going to want to find out where your Pluto is. So for example, I have Pluto in the second house in Scorpio. So I would be looking up like Pluto in Scorpio, or Pluto in the second house, or Pluto in the second house in Scorpio, or Scorpio Pluto in second house, or something like that, right? So you're going to want to go and find out where your Pluto is and what it means for you. But Pluto in general has to do with renewal, inner resources, basic instinct, motivation, personal power, evolution, composting, cycles, death, rebirth, subversion, suspicion, obsession, intensity, reckoning, taboos, clearing, extremes, and transformation. So you need to give some attention to your Pluto. You may also want to spend some time learning about Pluto in Aquarius and like what that means for us just cosmically as a society now that Pluto has moved into Aquarius. So yeah. All right, let's go ahead and get this deck out right here. I'm doing things in a slightly different order for each pile, so I just think that's kind of funny. Spirit, Pile 3, what about their Pluto? What do they need to investigate or need to know about their Pluto? What's the message here? We've got, it has always been within. Everything I need is already inside of me, as it always has been. So Pluto takes a long time to move through the zodiac. And so this has to do with the idea that sitting with yourself or sitting with a certain aspect of your life could be a good choice for you. All right, let's get some more clarity here. Spirit, what is the message for Pile 3? Why does Pluto need attention for Pile 3? What we've got here, happiness. Ooh, I like how we've got orange in both of these cards. That's pretty exciting, actually. All right, so some of y'all might be looking for happiness outside of yourselves. You might be thinking that like, oh, if I make this change or if I make this transformation, I'm going to be happy. But really, your happiness is within you and it comes from within you. And I think that's the message that Spirit wants to talk to you about today, because Pluto moving through the zodiac does bring different energies, especially when it comes to things like renewal. But we also have inner resources here. It's the second thing listed on this card, inner resources. And then we have, it has always been within. Everything is already inside of you. So this is about pulling your inner happiness, pulling your inner resources, and that's going to be what ends up actually making you happy, is transforming within, pulling your inner resources and figuring out what it is that intrinsically makes you happy. Not trying to find that from the outside, but where does your personal power lie? What motivates you? Is there anything that you're obsessed with that makes you happy? And also for some of you guys, this may even be like obsession with yourself, like becoming obsessed with yourself, especially if you've ever had like limerent behavior on somebody else, or if you've ever been like obsessed with another person. The message here is to become obsessed with yourself for sure. Okay, let's see what the tarot has to say. Spirit, what does the tarot have to say to pile 3? Why do they need to focus on Pluto in their natal charts? What is that? What's that about? Oh, we're actually going to cut the deck this time. That's interesting. It's, you know, I haven't cut the deck, I don't think, like the tarot deck for any other pile, but it kind of makes sense because when I cut the deck, I like to look at the bottom of the deck energy, like to see kind of like what's hidden or what's in the shadow, what's like the basis of the reading, and that's very Plutonian energy. So yeah, let's see what we have here. We've got the Queen of Cups in reverse. Okay, let's see. We've also got Judgment here in reverse. We've got the Tower in reverse. These are all major arcana cards. That's pretty interesting. And they're all in reverse. So this is definitely like a big blockage. Some of you guys may be judging yourselves for some reason. And I'm also sensing that like the foundation that you have maybe isn't as secure as it could be. Okay, we've got the Page of Pentacles. This is about learning new skills. This could also be about learning how to spend your time, learning about new resources, learning about your inner resources, of course, as well. Learning about money, things like that. We've got here the Ace of Cups in reverse. Some of you guys may be valuing money over self-love and self-care. We've got here the Two of Pentacles. It's causing you to drop the ball in a way that is not helpful. Okay, we've got here the Five of Wands in reverse. I feel like I should make some more space up top. We're going to go like this. All right, guys, I'm going to rearrange this just a little bit so you're going to see a little bit of editing magic. All right, we've got the Four of Wands. Interesting. Okay, cool. I like that energy. All right, and then we got the Seven of Wands. That's interesting that we had so many wands. Like we had 3 major arcanas come out in a row. Now we have 3 wands come out in a row. All right, let's get the bottom of the deck energy now. That is the Hermit in reverse. Okay, so since we are talking about the zodiac, let's talk signs. We have Virgo here with the Hermit. We can also talk planets as well. Mars is here with the Tower. And interestingly enough, the Judgment card is actually ruled by Pluto. So the Plutonian energy is super, super strong here. But this has to do with not only subconscious things, but also very slow and massive transformation. I'm going to take a little time to read from the book that came with my Astro deck so we can get a little bit of a more full picture, a fuller picture. All right, so some keywords for Pluto are stripping, exfoliating, evolution, animalism, primitive, volcano, snakeskin, jungle, grip, grief, core, nuclear power, restlessness, spies, rawness, treasure, and essence. The sign most often associated with Pluto is Scorpio. The house often associated with Pluto is the 8th house. However, in your birth chart, it probably will be different. Like I said, I have Pluto in the 2nd house. Your birth chart is like a snapshot of where everything is in the sky, in the cosmos at the time of your birth. So even though each planet may have, or even each house may have a traditional sign associated with it, that does not mean that it's going to be like that for your birth chart. And Pluto's orbit actually takes 278 years. It changes signs every 14 to 30 years. So Pluto in Aquarius is going to be for quite a long time. And Pluto goes retrograde once per year for about 5 months, interestingly enough. In the belly of our wildest beasts and at the center of Earth's molten core, Pluto awaits us like a coiled Kundalini serpent. Our terrifyingly gorgeous ticket to total transformation. This planet strips us bare of our creature comforts. This planet strips us bare of our creature comfort zones and rocks us to the bottom of our emotional wells. While Neptune slowly dissolves the edges, Saturn sets up blockades, and Uranus lightning cracks our house in two, Pluto hurricanes our habitual grooves out of the ground by their roots and sends us hurtling toward our own vital, brutal evolution. The celestial surgeon, Pluto knows exactly what patterns must be exercised so we may hone our instincts and flourish. In our charts, Pluto shows what we hold so tightly in our hot-blooded hands that we think we can't live without. But every loss is a find, whispers Pluto, and you've got to grieve it to believe there's life on the other side. When we're stripped bare and raw and the land around seems barren, we're left only with the parts of us that can never be stolen. When Pluto is seen in a reading, be ready to reckon with a treasure that's disguised as a loss. Something is being stripped, purged, wiped out of your life to pave the way for lush new growth. But first, you've got to grieve what's leaving and sit with the sensation of sloughing off. There's no way to pretty up a psychological death. Take the time you need. Release in whatever way feels good, whether it's primal screams and sweat-drenched dancing or simply exfoliating your skin. Know that what's leaving is revealing the very essence of your personal power and a connection to the parts of you that are forever solid gold. If you would like to do a journal, there is a prompt here. So the journal prompt is, the experience that transformed me was ... And you know what's interesting? Right now I'm thinking about, if you didn't watch the Identifiers, a movie came out in, it's also a book, came out in the Identifiers called Along for the Ride by Sarah Dessen. And I also mentioned that there was another book by Sarah Dessen that seemed like it wanted to be mentioned, and that was called The Truth About Forever. And in both of those books, the main character really goes through like a major transformation in life. And especially in The Truth About Forever, there's this idea of like stripping away all this idea of who somebody is in order to kind of like build yourself back up into who you really are and who you really want to be. And you could say, even in Along for the Ride, that that actually happens as well. Just in different ways. I can't find the slip, and I don't want to waste any time looking for it, but both of the young women in those books, they do find out that like the person who they wanted to be or the person who they were transforming into was within them all along. And yes, they did have to go through some very difficult times. They had to meet new people. They had to, take on new jobs. They had to put themselves into a totally unfamiliar scenarios and situations. And they had to stop doing things that they used to do and start doing new things in order to transform. And I think that that's probably something that you could identify with if you picked this pile. But here with the Queen of Cups in the reverse and the Judgment in reverse, we've got a lot of reversals here. It's mostly reversals, not by much, but it is mostly reversals. There is some sort of way in which you're not caring for yourself and a way in which you're not loving yourself. Like I said, a ball has been dropped here. There's some sort of responsibility that you had that I think, you're not taking maybe as seriously as you should. There also could have been some sort of tragedy that happened in your life that could have really changed things for you. And that tragedy could have had something to do with your family. It could have had something to do with maybe a relationship. It could have had something to do with maybe money or your home or, housing or something like that, right? Like maybe your housing is not as secure as it used to be or something like that. And if that's the case, I'm very sorry that happened. I'm sorry. I know how things like that can feel and how easy it can be to, I'm not going to say like how easy it can be to get off track, but how easy it can be to kind of like let that take over your life. I understand. And I almost wonder if that is maybe what has happened here. And by paying attention to Pluto, it can give you an opportunity to transform your life, right? Like when I was reading from the book, it said that every loss is actually a gain. And so if there was some sort of loss in your life, whether that was loss of a job, loss of a home, loss of a relationship, loss of a loved one, there is something to be learned from it. And the strength that you're pulling from and that you can pull from in order to complete this transformation is within you. There's this picture here of like a volcano on this card. And when you think about how volcanoes work, it's like they have this hole in the Earth's crust where all this lava and magma that is like boiling and bubbling deep within the Earth has the potential to erupt and to come out. And so it's like all of these things that are deep down, this hot, piping, passionate thing, or even anger that is deep within you has the potential to come out and to erupt forth and forward and to create something totally new. When lava comes up through the earth and it comes out, it covers the landscape around it. It creates, a whole bunch of smoke, and it creates different rocks and things like that. It like totally transforms the landscape. And so whatever it is that you're feeling deep down within you, the opportunity to like let that come out and let it change your landscape, your personal landscape, and change you is one that is probably unavoidable, honestly. You may have been trying to avoid this. Maybe there's something that like you want to say to somebody, but you are afraid that saying it is going to, change your relationship forever or something like that, It may be unavoidable. There may be some sort of unavoidable conflict here. We did get the Tower, which has Mars energy with it. Mars is the planet of war, the planet of action and fighting and things like that. And it just is, the Tower also represents like an act of God. It represents something that's outside of your control. And I don't know if this is like a loss of control on your part or if it is something that you can't control, that you never had any control over to begin with. I want to get some confirmation. I'm going to leave this Hermit card out here. No, I'm not. Never mind. We're going to put it back. I want to get some confirmation about this Page of Pentacles. Can you clarify this Page of Pentacles, please, Spirit? Because I feel like that's like throwing me off a little bit. Can you clarify the Page of Pentacles in this reading for pile 3? Can you give us some additional information or clarification about this Page of Pentacles here, please? Thank you. 6 of Cups. Okay, so this is giving childish things, okay? This is I almost want to say a warning. Like, I hate to use that term. That, like, feels ominous. It's not, but, like, Pluto being this planet of transformation, it does say extremes on there, right? And, like, there are a lot of, like, extreme kind of words on here. We've got, like, death, rebirth, subversion, suspicion, obsession, intensity, right? Very intense energy. This does almost feel like a warning in some ways. And I kind of feel like it's a warning for you to like grow up a little bit. And me saying that, I'm not here trying to, belittle anybody, make anybody feel bad. But there's some part of you that I think is still acting childishly. Whether that is how you deal with money, how you deal with your resources, maybe like, food, clothing, shelter, some way that you're dealing with that, maybe how you spend your time, maybe in your work and what you do for work, or how you work, or something like that. There's something childish about this. And Pluto is here to try and transform you in a way that is going to make you recognize your potential and also give you the self-love that you have within you, like help you to recognize the self-love that you have within you. Because whatever this is, it's like, it's unsustainable. And here's an example. For example, if let's say that you are, maybe let's say that you're like childish with money and you don't have a budget, you don't, know what to do with your money in order to keep it, just in general, in order to keep it, or in order to, spend it well and things like that. Let's say that like a major disaster comes into your life, whether that is, a disaster with a pet, or you suddenly have to move, or some sort of health issue, and you're not able to handle it because you've been childish with your money. Every loss for Pluto is a gain, because even if it seems like something bad is happening to you, you have an option to grow and transform from it. It's like you're learning a lesson, and it might be a kind of shitty lesson to have to go through, but it's a necessary lesson for you to go through. And it helps you to recognize your inner strength, your inner empathy, your inner emotional security. Okay? So yeah, Pluto is here trying to get you to grow up. So like in whatever house your Pluto is in, whatever sign your Pluto is in, that is an area that you need to do some maturing. So when you go and check your natal chart and you find out maybe perhaps that your Pluto is in Libra, or your Pluto is in the first house, or the, fifth house, or whatever, that's going to be the area where you could stand to do some inner work. Okay. And I know that I was talking about like childishness and things like that, but we still do have this happiness card here. And we've got a lot of orange coming up, actually. So like we've got this kind of like orange robe here on the Tower card. We've got another orange robe here on this Page of Cups card. This child is wearing like yellowish orangish here. And then we have this orange robe here on the Seven of Wands. And it just gives me this idea that even though you have some maturing and growing up to do, it should still be joyful. There should and will be a part of you that finds joy in learning this new thing, whether it's a new skill or just taking a new step in life, or learning to use a resource differently. I think that it is going to bring you some sort of pleasure. I think that you figuring out that you have this inner strength is going to bring you happiness even in the process, not like at the end. It's actually going to bring you happiness throughout. And I do want to read a little piece from the Prisms book with this happiness card. Orange. Orange combines the fiery energy of red with the optimism of yellow. So this is like optimistic action. Like a sunrise signaling a new day or a burst of citrus, it can elicit feelings of warmth, happiness, and high energy. As a friendly, playful hue, orange can give off a sense of joy when worn. Like red, orange is a stimulating color. In fact, it is sometimes used in fast food restaurants as a device to keep people moving. Working with orange in color magic can help curb procrastination, give you a boost of energy in order to move forward with your goals. So wherever it is that you're stagnant in your life, Pluto is going to be coming through to motivate you to get moving and to find that inner strength to keep pushing forward. When orange cards come up in a reading, it's a sign to tap into joy and playfulness during this period of your life. Orange is full of energy, which can be invigorating but also overstimulating. How are these energies emerging in your life right now? Are you feeling excited, or is the energy a little too intense, right? We did have intensity here on Pluto. Take a moment, if it is too intense, to release that energy with a sense of play, right? The Six of Cups here. Now is the time to take a moment and celebrate all the joy that is apparent within your life in all the forms that it takes. And that's a good reminder too, because even when there is some sort of loss, even if it's a major loss, there are things not only that you can still be grateful for, but you can also find moments of joy in that. It makes me think of on Sex and the City, the movie, after Carrie's disaster of a wedding, she doesn't laugh. You know, Carrie, if you have ever seen that show, Carrie, played by Sarah Jessica Parker, is like very witty and humorous, and she loves to laugh. And after, you know, she stood up at the altar by Mr. Big, she's so sad and so depressed, and she takes her friends on what was supposed to be her honeymoon and all these things, and she just like can't get out of her own head, and she's had this devastating loss of this relationship. And then something happens that finally makes her laugh and helps her to begin the process of moving on and moving forward and transforming into the newer, better version of herself post big apocalypse, right? So there are still things to be joyful about. And for Carrie, in that scenario, it wasn't anything about her own life in particular, other than she had this friend, right? And her friendships, of course, were very important to her. But what happened was, like, Charlotte, they were in Mexico, and Charlotte drank some of the water that she wasn't supposed to drink, and she ended up getting diarrhea. I don't know if I'm allowed to say diarrhea. I guess so. She ended up like pooping her pants. And Carrie just found it to be so funny. It was so, like, it made her laugh so hard. And, you know, it wasn't anything in particular about Carrie's life, you know, other than the fact that she had Charlotte as a friend and that her friends cared enough about her to come with her on this trip that would have been her honeymoon. So, you know, there are still going to be things in your life, even if you have encountered a tragedy or a loss of some kind, there are things in your future that you can look forward to. And there are things in the future that will bring you happiness and levity and lightness and things like that, even if you are going through a heavier time of transformation and transition right now. So whatever it is that you need to learn when you look at, you know, what house and what sign Pluto is in for you, you can approach it with curiosity. You can approach it with playfulness and lightness, but do also understand that this is going to be work. And if you choose to do the work, you will have success. But if you choose to drop the ball, it's going to be a lot harder. You're going to have to fight regardless. But if you decide to put that work in and to approach it with this playful lightness, I think you'll find a lot more satisfaction and fulfillment in that joy and in that scenario and in the transformation just in general. And speaking of transformation, I think it's interesting how it's like these characters here that I mentioned that were wearing the orange, it is like there's a transformation between from here to here, right? This character here is wearing this orange robe, orangish red robe, and they're also wearing a mask as they fall from the tower, right? But they're not wearing the rest of their garments here. So it's like this vulnerable, there is a vulnerability here, but it's also, there's this hidden thing, something hidden, something that's inauthentic here because of the mask. And then here it's like once they've been brought down to earth whatever this is, like, it's bringing you back down to earth. This scenario, this Pluto transformation is bringing you back down to earth. And you need to be brought down to earth in this place, in this part of your life. And here this person is, you know, they're studying very intently. They're learning how to use their time well. They're learning how to use their resources well. They've got this like long hair. They've got these clothes now. And they're sitting with it. They're taking the time. And then we move out over here. And this person, like, they've cut their hair. They've got some new tools. They're ready to fight. They've taken a new stance. They're up. They're active now. They're taking a new stance and they're ready to fight, to defend themselves and to, you know, get where they need to go, do what they need to do. And this is like, it's turning you into a warrior. It's turning you into a fighter. It's turning you into somebody who can get back up, who can find the joy in scenarios, who can make good connections where those connections need to be made, who can find stability where it needs to be found, and who can fight in that part of your life. So yeah, there's a fight coming up. You got to get with it or, you know, get left behind, but I don't think you're the type to get left behind. So go ahead and get with it. Let's read what the actual happiness card says. Happiness is one of the most beautiful feelings, as if the world is shimmering around you. But we seldom acknowledge when we're feeling good and instead focus on when we're feeling bad. So take this time to cherish your happiness, really experience it, and feel its warmth. One of the best times to, you know, practice gratitude is when you've lost something. One of the best times to really tap into your own happiness is when you're feeling sad about something. That's a really great time to find things to be happy about. So that's your challenge right now in this area of your life, whatever house it's in, whatever sign Pluto is in. You have to find things to be grateful for and for things to be happy about in that scenario, and recognize that the power to transform and the power to move past this and to grow this part of yourself is within you and has always been in there. And it is going to be hard. I don't think anything with Pluto comes easy. And it's going to be intense as well, but you can find playfulness with it. You can find joy with it. You know, children, they go through many different developmental stages in order to grow into adults, especially successful adults. And there may be a part of you that is not as successful at adulting as it could be, and so you have to go back and work on that. But, you know, it's not like children, when they're working on growing parts of themselves, it's not like they're all grim about it and sad. You know, they find ways to have fun in doing it. And the people who teach them even find ways to have fun in doing it, you know. Some of you guys may need to find a mentor. We did have the Hermit card come out here earlier. So whether that mentor is like in person or online or whatever, you do need to kind of like find a way to not only follow your own light, but if you need somebody to guide you, that's okay too. Take on the energy of a student and have fun with it. Don't forget to like this video and to subscribe to the channel. Both of those are very helpful actions. Not only does subscribing help me to tap into your energy a little bit more clearly and to help bring in more specific scenarios that you're going through into the reading, but it also just helps the channel. And when you like the video, it helps the video to spread a little farther across YouTube so other people who may need to hear this message can find it as well. Thank you so much for being here with me during this reading. I love you guys. Thank you for spending time over here. And I wish you nothing but the best. I wish you all the happiness in the world. Don't forget to go look up your natal chart, because I think that will help to solidify a lot of the things in this reading and do some research on where your Pluto is. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.